Okay, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. Ships at sea. It's been a minute since I said that one. Just looking at that little intro roll there to get people kind of warmed up. It's like, wait a minute, I probably need to redo that one. I think I've lost a little bit of weight, I hope. So let's go ahead and get into it, see what's going on in the market in Las Vegas, get into the news, see what is going on, and answer any questions that anyone has. So once people start piling in, hopefully, we will have questions, hopefully, and I'll get them answered. So those of you who are watching the replay, if you have any questions, I'll try to get them answered. If I can find them and or get to them in all the hundreds of emails I get. I don't know if you guys notice, with the whole AI revolution, we now have twice as many emails. So I can read one email to try to respond to it. By the time I close it, I got 20 new emails now, because everybody just wants to send 1,000 emails now. Let me just double check, make sure I am streaming properly. Oh yeah, I am. So I try to delete, as soon as I try to delete one new sender, because they're now sending 20 emails a day, a new one pops up. So everyone's into this whole affiliate marketing crap, and they're into everything else. So let's get into the market, because I know you hear about what I'm talking about with AI and everything. So let's start, see what's going on. Let's talk about what's happened the last 7 days. Let's refresh this just in case. So, let's see here. For Southern Nevada, or at least the MLS Reach, we had 1,293 new listings come on the market. 171 come back on the market. This is one that frightens me. Look at this. 1,362 new listings. I'm sorry, 1,362 price decreases, 144 price increases, 360 under contract shows, 452 no shows. And okay, this is interesting. 902 sold. Last couple of weeks that I looked at this, this number was way lower than this. And it was like, wait a minute, the solds plus the under contracts didn't even add up to either the, especially the price decreases. Well, you see the price decreases are, way more than the numbers sold. But, it had been like more than all of this combined. So at least we're on a positive track here. So the souls are just really going up here. This is interesting. I can't wait to see these numbers. Expires 368. That makes sense. It's end of the month. I'm going to explore that a little bit more in a second. Temp off market's 51. You can only have it off the market up to 30 days now. This is usually for people taking off the market for like do some repairs or something like that. 339 withdrawns. These are people who are just like pretty much giving up. It's like, you know what, I can't get my price, I'm out. Withdrawn conditionally, same thing. It's just that the agent's not letting it go. They're probably putting money into it, or it's like, hey, you just want to take your thing off the market and not have spent $1,500 marketing your property. No, it's not happening. Coming soon's 105. That is the most I've seen in a moment. And contingent on sales, same as these two. It's just that they have some kind of contingency, usually a house to sell. This number, again, is really shocking here. Let's get into the actual sales. So the new numbers have not come out yet, so I'm still looking at May data to compare it against. So these are going to be really good numbers here, because we're the third now, so most of the numbers are going to be in. Now let's just look at actives real quick before we head in there. So for single family homes, we still have more than 5,000. Let's just go look, see how many we have out there. So we have 7,431 on the market. And let's compare that against actives for end of May, 6,646. So we are up, math and public. What's that, about 800? Math and public. Okay, on the market, price is 32 million with a median list price of 552, average of 893. So far, they've been on the market for a median days of 42 days, an average of 63. Let's get on back here. Just now, let's look at, oh, that was single family. Let's go ahead and look at townhouses and condominiums combined. I still don't like how the board does that. 2,094. Compare that to the end of the month of 2510. Math and public, not that bad. It's only about, what, 180 or so. Let's just look at the numbers. So 279.9 is the median listed price, 54 days so far on the market. That is not great. 346 is the average, 73 is the average days on market. So it looks like the days on market may be creeping up. We'll see from the sold data. Now let's get into the important stuff. I'm just going to keep it on condos and townhomes for a second. Let's go back to last month. So let's look at June data. And, reason I like to look at the actual data like this way I'm not hiding data. You see what I'm doing. I think too many numbers come out and you don't know where the numbers are coming from. And, people can just be saying anything and you don't know where they're coming from. So I'm looking at condos and townhomes, June. So 514 sold. Let's look at them. I know they're dry numbers, and the median list price was 314,998 with a median close of 305,995. 30 days to close on median. Compare that to, okay, 307. So we're at the 99.9% confidence rate. So down, so it's down about $1,000. 30 days. Let's see the show here. So this is about 4.5 months. Then I'm not going to run the numbers. And 559 sold in May compared to, come on. So a few slightly lower sales. So let's go back and do single family houses. Okay, 1,000. Now let's just go into the results first. Okay, we'll go into the results. And list 490, close price 485. We have gone up 5,000, so we are back at record highs. So it's kind of hard to explain. We were at record highs and we hit 485 for 3 straight months, dropped to 480 for 2 months. So we're back at that 485. So this is recovered. But if you look, 2087 and compare that to 1946, so that's down 140 math and public. I do not understand why these numbers continue the way they are. It almost doesn't make any sense. I mean, just really, it just doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. Um, yeah, because we just the interest rates and all of the bad news we keep seeing, but they keep selling. And as you just saw when we started this off in the last 7 days, I haven't seen sales like that in a while. But a lot of that could have been just end of month. A lot of stuff gets pushed to the end of the month, so that could be the reason. Let's go back and just look at some stats that people may be interested in. Actually, I'm going to break this down a little bit. I'm going to stick with single family since a lot of people like single family. I've got a few people here, 5 people. Anybody have any questions, go ahead and ask them. So let's just look at Las Vegas. And let's break these numbers down. 1,199. The results. Let's get into the stats here. Stats. Okay, so median close price 490, 22 days on market. Now these numbers are fake, and I keep threatening to put the numbers up here because there's this economist, and I subscribe to his service, and it's really funny. Let me bring this up here. This guy, he runs these really deep numbers, and there's actually a service, and I subscribe to it, and we're not supposed to share like this really deep data. But I can like talk about it kind of thing, but I'm not supposed to show it. But I've actually have people who are sending it to me. Like I met this title rep, and he's like sending me the stuff that it actually says at the very beginning, do not share this data. Interesting. Then I have this realtor in California who sends it to me, and it's like, but it's the California data. And it's like really funny when it says at the very beginning, do not share this data. And I've been trying to figure a way to share it properly. I did it in one of these, where I didn't share it, but I broke it down properly the way I'm supposed to share it. And it's like, I don't have time to like break it down, but he has talked about it, and I've talked about it in here, where a lot of this data is false, especially when it comes to the days on market, because agents pull a lot of tricks. And some of the tricks are try to get the house sold, especially when it's been on the market. And I've talked about this a lot, where let's say, sellers go like, can we try this for another couple of weeks? All the things. Can we try my price a couple of more weeks? Well, as a buyer, you're going, well, this house has been on the market for 2 months. There must be something wrong. I want to offer less, or you won't even make an offer on a house. So sellers don't see it that way. So it ends up creating an issue for the seller, and where they can't sell the house. So what a agent will do is they will take it off the market and put it back on, and then it makes it look like it hasn't been on the market for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can show you this. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up here. I'm going to go into this data, and I'm going to see if I can show this to you. So I'm going to come in. Watch this. You see all these zeros here and all these ones. Let me go to 100. Believe it or not, all these zeros and ones and some of these twos, usually it's the zeros and the ones. They're fake. A lot of these are fake listings. The house was pre-sold. And the reason the agent does this is they want their stuff to appear across the board. Like, let's say if I pre-sold the house, or I got it sold, and maybe I sold it to one of my buyers as an agent. Well, I want it to appear so it shows in Zillow or Redfin and all these other places. So I put it on the market just long enough, or a day or so, just so it shows. And that's what they're doing. But it messes up the statistics. And also, when I was talking about how they relist the house, so they take it off the market, and put it back on the market. That messes up the statistics. And that's where the problem comes in. And it makes those numbers that we just saw. Let me make sure I share the screen so I'm not just sitting here talking and I think I'm sharing the screen. And it makes these numbers fake. All of these numbers end up being fake. And what he does, he takes all this stuff out and he goes into the deep analysis and he shows what it really is. So in future, I'm going to try to put it out there and show what the numbers really are. But for now, these are what the board puts out. So these could really be more like 40, 45 days. So let's get on back here. That was for Las Vegas. Now let's look at North Las Vegas. So we'll take that out. We'll go into North Las Vegas for single family. Okay. So 243 homes sold, 425, 18 days median, 30 days average. And let's look at Henderson. Look at those numbers, 549,950, 22 days median, 37 days average. And let's do the condos and townhomes. Matter of fact, I want to, you know what, I'm going to do it later. Hold on. So let's do townhomes and condominiums. We'll keep it on Henderson for a second, 104. Let's break this down. Okay, 368. I'm just going to call it 368. 30 days, 43. Okay, no questions. And we'll do north. Let's do it in reverse order. $37, $310, $13, and $28. Seem to be moving faster in North Las Vegas right now. And North and Las Vegas itself. $354, $285, $31, and $49 as far as days. And let's get real here. Start pulling some even more separate data out. Just do condos. And the reason I'm going to do condos is I'm going to break something out here for a second and go into some news. So tab data, 235. I'm actually surprised on that. 41 days. So 179, 41 days, 235, 58 for the average. The criteria, oh, so let's see here, let's do north. Whoops. $11. 295, 25 days and 33 respectively. And let's finish it up with Henderson. Okay, 32, 250. Man, this Can't believe they're selling for more in North Las Vegas. 257, 42 days, 56. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for a second. I'm going to come over here and we'll go into the news a little bit. Okay, so condo prices. This is nationwide right now. They're seeing the second largest price drop, or the second largest drop in history. And there's a real big reason for that. And there is it's kind of nationwide, but it's really, especially in certain regions. First of all, there's a lot of condos coming on the market. And it all started here in Florida with that condo collapse. And then you got another epicenter here in Florida. I'm actually surprised that this map is not showing Vegas. That we're having some issues here. And like Phoenix is having an issue. I've talked to some agents here in Phoenix. They're having an issue too. And the issue has to do with several things. Now, I can talk to Vegas and just talking to agents or an agent in Phoenix. I don't want to make it seem I've talked to more agents than one on it. It's the HOAs. They are going up like crazy. A lot of the sales that are happening right now are to investors because a lot of them are the only ones in certain complexes that are buying. And it's mainly the ones where the HOAs are just skyrocketing right now. And they're skyrocketing because of a lot of deferred maintenance and stuff. And that's what happened down in Florida. And that's why, they're getting these huge assessments. I don't know what's going on. There was a new law that was passed that's supposed to be a relief to the HOA owners in Florida. I haven't really looked into it. I'm not going to lie. But I don't know what it contained. So, but people were getting like $250,000 assessments and stuff in Florida. And nobody could move a condo. And there was another issue with condos that's happening even here in Vegas for insurability. And a lot of condos are either cash deals or conventional loans anyway. And even with that, for the conventional loans, or I'm going to talk about VA loans and FHA first, there's this list that has, the pre-approved condos where it's like, oh, they're on the pre-approved list. You can, finance with FHA and VA. Well, you still have to do this thing called a condo cert. Well, when they do the condo certs now, they're going like, oh, it's no longer insurable. So you go through all this stuff, pay for your appraisal. This is separate from condo cert. You paid for your inspection. And then the bank gets the condo cert back and it's like, oh, this thing is no longer insurable. Oh, this is also happening for conventional loans. And they get the condo cert back and it's like, it's done. So this is happening all over town here. And that's one of the reasons the investors are stepping in and they're buying these places. I've seen this is one I've talked about in a lot of my videos. It's going to expire at the end of this month. And at this point, I've given up on it. All of the condos in this complex have sold to investors. And, the condo that I have, the seller just keeps turning it down. All the investor offers down. It's like all the other condos are selling to the investors. And what's funny is every time a condo sells, well, an investor doesn't want to pay what the other investors paid once the condo closes. And the offers keep going down and down and down. So they could have sold like up here, but it's like, oh, it's too low. Okay, now it's this. Well, it's too low. Now it's this. Oh, it's too low. It just keeps going down. So it doesn't matter. It's going to expire at the end of the month, and it's just going to keep going down. And the HOA has gone up several times since the place was listed. I half feel sorry, but it's like there's nothing you can do. Even one of the places in there, the owner was a real estate agent. And she was like, I'm getting out of here. Do you know what's going on in this place? I'm selling. I'm getting out of here. So yeah, you got to be very careful where you get a condo at in Vegas right now. Very careful, because you may not be able to resell it. I'm just being dead honest. Some of the parts of town you may not have to worry about, like a Summerlin or something like that. Parts of Green Valley, newer condos. If the condo is like 20, 30 years old, I'd probably stay away from it, to be honest. Now here's the thing. We haven't done it, gone into it yet, because we don't have the numbers, but we are officially, we are still in a seller/mixed market. So here's the thing. It's like remember back when interest rates went up? Well, we still were in technically a seller's market, but it felt like a buyer's market, right? Prices were going down, yet we were in a technically a seller's market, but the prices were going down. So it didn't make any sense. Well, nationwide right now, we are, by the numbers, because people have gotten too used to stuff. We are in a seller's market by the numbers, but in reality, we're in a buyer's market. And that reality is, if you're a seller, you need to price as a buyer's market. And as a buyer, it's time to reap your unfair share. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And here's what I'm talking about. Let's go here. Builders are selling fewer homes, yet there's record high prices in Southern Nevada. But the buyers are starting to pull back. And the builders are noticing this, and they are starting to do some really strange stuff. When I say strange stuff, there's one builder, and normally, I don't name things unless it's really good or really bad. I'm going to name this builder, because there's a major builder. If you look at YouTube, you don't see as many videos on this builder as you see it with other builders from realtors. There's a reason why. And the reason why is, normally they don't pay commissions, what's known as a co-op. So realtors don't want to cooperate by doing videos on them, unless they're just doing videos to educate. You've seen I've done videos on them because I just want to do videos to educate. It's Lennar. Well, when times are good, Lennar does not pay commissions. When times are bad like this, they pay commissions. Well, times are bad for builders, so they pay commissions right now. So you're probably going to start seeing, well, you may or may not, because sometimes people have, I'm just going to leave it at that. Right now, they're paying commissions, and builders have a little bit of a fear right now, and it's time for you to take your unfair share. There is a builder right now. They announced it yesterday. If you reach out to me, I'll tell you about it. They are offering terms I've never seen before. You ready for this? It's a 3-2-1 interest rate buy down. So what 3-2-1 is the first year, it is 1.99% interest. Second year is 2.99%. Third year, it's 3.99%. Now, on a 3-2-1 buy down, normally what happens? Normally, that final year, it goes to whatever the floating interest rate is. So let's say interest rates stayed somehow what they are now, you'd go back to whatever they are today, which wouldn't be great, because it's like, oh, I'm getting really screwed here. No. Then it's fixed 4.99%. So that's frightened. So yeah, you should take your unfair share whenever you can. Because they're frightened. They don't want to lose what they have because they have a lot of forward commitments they paid for. And they want to make sure that the money they paid, and they paid, for years ahead for lumber, the electrical, and all this stuff. And they paid for this stuff and they don't want to fall back on it. So, like I said, housing market hasn't reached milestones like this in 15 years, and it's good news for you, the buyer. And they've been building, but they're starting to struggle. And right now, new homes have the median price on them are pretty close to what they are for a resale home. I was at a builder thing 2 weeks ago where they were showing that their new homes that are brand spanking new with all the newfangled features, some of them are less expensive than a resale home. I'm serious as a heart attack. With lower interest rates than trying to go get a new rebuilt or resale home with paid down interest. So another reason for the home sellers to really be watching what they're doing instead of overpricing. Remember we started this, how had all those price adjustments? Do not overprice your home, especially the new home builders want to get their unfair share. You as a buyer need to take your unfair share and get what you can. And next, let's see if I can get some sound on this. Hopefully we get sound. There's going to be a commercial on it. Let's see. Yeah, they have a major charm offensive right now, coming after agents, going like, "Hey, bring your buyers, bring your buyers." And they're putting everything out there, and they really want us agents to bring our buyers out there. And it's one less thing you got to fight about. And there's a video I've been thinking about making. I don't know if I want to make it because you get everybody, they want to like pile in. Because last year about this time, all the rules changed in real estate, where you have to have that buyer's agency agreement and everything because of the lawsuits that are got new lawsuits ongoing. As if you don't know, yeah, it's ridiculous with all these lawsuits that are just I mean, I think even last week there were even more lawsuits. That thing just opened up a whole flood of lawsuits. Anyway, it's like a month or so ago. This agent up in Reno did a video of, no, it's 3 months ago maybe. I'd have to do it. I just really, it really wasn't a reaction video to his video. It was really the comments, and it was about going to a new home build, and if you want to be represented by a realtor, and it was just all the negative comments of like, if you want to be represented, I mean, you can just walk in if you want, but you cannot be represented by a realtor, because they have their own contracts and everything else. And it's like, you're telling me if I just walk in, I can't have my own representation, blah, blah. And it was just so negative. And it's like, they're going to deny me my representation. It's like, yeah. As a matter of fact, now we have to bring that buyer representation agreement with us to the builder when we show up with you. It's real. I mean, I'm being serious. So, I don't know. It's kind of funny, not funny. But this is where it really gets funny, not funny. So let me show you this one. So look at this. This is why you should really kind of, I don't know. It's really, and you get all these negative comments, and it's like, oh, you're just trying to sell a house right now. But look at this. You got all these people who are putting their houses on the market, although it's not nearly as much as back in 2008. It's actually less. But look, estimated 6 million homes are missing from the market. We need 6 million homes to be even, right? So if you look, we are 89,655,000, yeah, whatever, homes short of where we need to be here in the state of Nevada. So the majority of that is here in the Las Vegas area. Now, I've talked about this before. We only have 5 to 8 years of buildable land left in Las Vegas, the Valley, Las Vegas North, Las Vegas, and Henderson. That's it. Now, you hear all these things about releasing land. That's great. I've talked about that too. That will give us 2 more years. After that, there is no more land. Unless they start going out to the older parts of town, those big 10,000 square foot lots, and start doing that whole California thing and knocking down those old houses, subdividing those lots out and putting, 3 and 4 houses on them. That's the only other thing that can happen. And I'm surprised they haven't started doing that yet. So, yeah, I'm really surprised they haven't started doing that or thinking about that. And what I'm trying to say is, yeah, you have a unique opportunity to get a house before it's all gone and this becomes California or LA 2.0, because there's always talk of that stuff. And here's the other part. Look at this. Now, I don't know if anything's going to happen on this. This is probably the lawmakers who are saying this is probably on the D side. The R side probably are behind these guys. I don't want any politics down below later. But they are. They're now building, especially here in Las Vegas. I actually saw them. I wanted to go out and do a video on when I actually saw the community. I literally saw it. It was on one of my videos when I did Richmond, America, when I came across it. It was down what's that? It's down in the Southwest. They're building entire communities that are meant to be rentals. Entire communities. Hundreds, thousands of homes, which means when they build these things, you will never be, these aren't apartments, these are homes, single family homes. You will never be able to own a home You understand? They're taking the dream from you, and you will be a renter for life, and they will control what you own. But it is what it is. Let's get into the mortgage rates real quick. They have been coming down. It's been 5 straight weeks of coming down. 30-year, 6.75, so it makes it a little more affordable. And let's see here. 15 under 6% now. 6.27 for FHA, 6.29 for VA. So it's kind of getting there a little bit. I'd love to see this under 6. Under 5 would be even better. Under 4, I would love it. But I don't know how long it's going to take to get there. Jobs report, as you know, came out today, and stock market's just tearing up. We got multiple highs. Both the Dow and the S&P are at records today. So I need to put a video out about the passage of the big beautiful bill. They say it's supposed to be a boon to realtors. We'll see. And I don't know if I'm going to end this, but I wanted to get here, and it's purely because of the future and see what's going to happen. I'm going to start this one with everything is AI now. No matter who I talk to, and especially in the real estate market, I take all these AI classes. Now, you haven't been able to figure I'm like this uber nerd because, I don't have a personal life. Yeah, I may be married. I may have children, but nobody cares about me. So I don't have a real life. My life evolves around lasers and 3D printers. And now, I just got a UV printer that, hopefully will be here later this month or early August, which is going to turn me into total nerddom. But every time, I get into an AI class, all these realtors, I'm using AI, and they don't use it right. But, I'm into, Uber AI, and you'll see more and more of that. But all these people, they're like Uber drivers now and Lyft drivers, where taxi drivers and Uber and Lyft came around. It's like, oh, my job is never going to go away. Well, these are supposedly jobs that nobody can fill that, pay over 80 grand a year. But I'm looking at them, and a lot of these jobs are going to go away. I'm going to wait till the end and talk about it. But look here, information security analyst. You think this cannot be done by AI in a couple of years? Registered nurse practitioner. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Okay, great. I saw this thing today. No, it was yesterday that frightened the living daylights out of me. And this is what kind of drives this. This is why it frightens the daylights out of me. Google just did a study, and they said, are you ready for this? AI can now properly diagnose a patient with 85% accuracy. Now, I'm sitting there going like, wow, it misses 15% of the time. Till I read the rest of the article. I get a lot of AI stuff from a lot of masterminds, right? This is what frightened me. You ready for this? Do you know what the average human doctor can diagnose people at? 20% accuracy. AI, we are at a point, can diagnose people at 85% accuracy. Like 8 months ago, AI could read x-rays better than a radiologist. That was x-rays. Now they can diagnose patients 4 times better than a doctor. Finally got one. I did not. Yep, there's the first political comment. Here you go, Jimmy. Like I said, I'm not into politics, bro. I am not into politics whatsoever. I am a pure soldier. I mean, airman. I don't do politics, period. Either way, D or R, neither way. I don't do politics. I feel politics is like whoredom. I'm just a nerd. I do my nerd stuff. That's why I just say D's and P's and leave it at that. Because it don't do anybody any good. I kind of like know what I feel on politics. Even though he ended up becoming president under the R banner, you know that nobody knew what Eisenhower's politics were until like sometime in the unlike what's his name McCarthy, not McCarthy, yeah, MacArthur was very clear about what his politics were. Eisenhower, no one knew what his politics were. As a matter of fact, he was asked at a party one time and he went like, I'd never really thought about it. If I had to think deeply about it, I guess I'm a Republican. That's what he said. He went, I guess I'm a Republican, and then he was drafted. So that's what he said. Really, you can go look at it. He said, I guess I'm a real warriors don't really care. Your job is to serve. It shouldn't matter. And it would actually I would actually get mad when I would hear other officers talk about politics because as a military person, you shouldn't be thinking about that. Your job is to serve the country. That's my take on it. Okay. Getting back, yeah, that was my frightening part. And when I saw that study by Google, and if you're talking about the big beautiful bill, yeah, I just want to see because there's a bunch of stuff on my feeds today about it's supposed to be a boon to realtors and real estate. I don't know what it is. I haven't read them yet. So I got to go read them and see if it's worth me putting out. Software developer, we already know this is dead. So this is something that came out today. And it's like, didn't Google and a bunch of other companies lay off half their people because of AI? They didn't think this one out. Data engineers, same thing. They didn't just laid off a bunch of these people. Same thing. Construction manager, yep, these guys got a job. Sales engineer, yeah, they're going to get laid off. Public relations fund range, yeah, that's going to be done by AI. Come on, you're already going to Chat GPT to do this. Same thing here. I just got a just today something was released by one of the AIs I have that completely does everything that a marketing manager would do. They just released it today. Where you go like, I want to do a marketing campaign that does this, this, and this. That's all you got to do. And it does everything for you. It's called GenSpark. It's what's known as an agentic AI. They just released that portion of it today. That's all you got to do. I'm a restaurant, and I need to do this, 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 and this, and produce me all of my menus, produce my recipes, and produce my schedules. It'll do it all in one shot, just like that. I'm going to get to the point in a second here about real estate. I think that's actually, hold on. That was it. So the point is, realtors believe that they are somehow immune to this. Every time I say this, there's only 2 to 5 years left in real estate for realtors. They're going, oh, no. People want the personal touch. People don't care about real estate agents. People want a job done. The only ones who will want a personal touch are going to be baby boomers. And just a little under a month ago, I put my father into the ground. Right now, I'm going through all the stuff, and my mother's talking about what dress she wants for her being put into the ground. They want personal service. Maybe half of Gen Xers will want some type of personal service, but the generations after that, no. It's easy to see. We already have all this face recognition. I can take a picture of anything and ask Chat GPT. It'll tell me everything about it. I can easily put up a camera and it will it'll track me throughout a house. So I can put cameras up. 3 years ago, I mean, when Zillow was hardcore, you didn't have to have an agent to see a house. Same thing for Open Door and Offer Pad. And they didn't even have the cameras then. We have AI tracking cameras now. I have AI tracking cameras I need to get put up. As soon as I put them up, there's a camera I have, or it's a set of cameras. It's 360-degree coverage of your house that backs up to a 1 terabyte hard drive that has 6 months of backup, solar powered, and it's full AI track. It will track an individual and pass them off to each camera with face tracking and identify who the person is. Who's going to need an agent with that? Oh, someone comes into your house, you know exactly what they do room to room. You think a millennial will care? Oh, I'm just going to leave my house now. I'll know what they do. Oh, they went into a drawer and they took something. Oh, the camera told me. They can't say they didn't put something in their pocket. Oh, I knew who came in my house because I have a copy of their ID. Oh, they came in, they tried to hide their face. Oh, the camera's telling me they're trying to hide their face. So, yeah, we're living in a new age. And I can remember I was teaching a class, wasn't on AI, but it was a few months back. And I was talking, it was like prior to the election and Doge even existing. So it would have been maybe October. And I mentioned kind of the stuff I'm talking about now, which is coming to fruition. And I'm talking to the dude and I'm like, we're getting to a point where we only have a few years left. And a lot of these jobs are going to be replaced by AI. And a guy scoffed and he was like, hey, this is going to be like, any of you guys seen or read the books on The Expanse? In the future, everything was taken over by AI and there weren't enough jobs for people. And they ended up, so what did they do? They gave them what was known as universal basic income. And most people didn't work. They just stayed at home. And I said, at some point, a lot of people are going to end up on universal basic income and they're just going to be at home. And he's like, that's never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. You know what? The next week, this guy named Elon Musk said, with AI and all of this stuff, we're going to have the best years of our lives or as a country, and we're going to be productive as can be. But people aren't going to have jobs. So we're going to have to give people universal basic income. Man, that's so funny. He goes, we're going to have to give the following week, give people universal basic income because there's not going to be any jobs for them. This company called Amazon, I think it was earlier this week, they announced they now have more robot workers powered by AI than they have human workers. How do you like that? So that is coming for real estate. So in the future, you're probably not going to have, it's probably going to take 3 to 5 years, but there's going to be a lot of differences, but there's going to be a lot of resistance from folks. It's probably going to start with realtors, and then it's going to have to go down the chain because there is a lot in the real estate industry that you don't get to see. All of these lawsuits, they point at realtors because that's the people that you see, but that's not where the money really is. You got to see realtors because you see commissions. That's not where the money was. That's why you see all of these companies being bought up, and and they're merging and everything right now. Part of it has to do with the lawsuits because um, you saw all those so-called commissions, but what you didn't see is it's a very, it's not low volume. There's very actually low profit to real estate on the real estate agent side. It looks like agents make a lot of money, but in reality, it's low profit because there's a lot of people biting at the money. And without getting into it, but down the chain, there's a lot of people making a lot of money. So a lot of that's going to be pushed back from those people because there's all the way, the insurance agents are making money, the title people are making money, the lenders are making money. People don't realize that something like a fifth of the US economy is tied to the sale of that house. And if you take that away, people ain't gonna like that. And once you start biting at that, and those lawsuits are settled, and that's why those mergers are happening. With that first lawsuit settlement, those companies didn't have that money. That's why there's the payback, like from the National Association of Realtors for the settlement that they made. They got to pay it back over 3 years. They literally didn't have the money to pay it, but they saw the settlement, and all these other lawsuits are like, oh man, there's $1 billion settlement. There's money out there, and so all these other lawsuits go rushing in. With okay, they had to pay it up 3 years because they didn't even have the money. And all these real estate companies you see merging. If you look at Rocket Mortgages, how they bought up these real estate companies, that's why they're buying them up. The real estate companies that made settlements didn't have the money to pay. Yet all these other lawsuits are like, oh, there's money out there, let's go sue. Yeah, okay. Well, there are no other questions. Got an hour into this. I hope you guys got a little bit of value out of it. We see where the market's moving. I don't understand it, to be honest. Yeah, the numbers are coming down as far as the interest rates. There are more houses coming on the market. We're the numbers say we're still in a soft seller's market, but we're essentially in a buyer's market. As a buyer, go take your unfair share. There's still too many sellers out there who become unrealistic. It doesn't matter. Once that house goes over 2 months, you can have your way with them. It's easy to see. I'm just saying it too much out there. I've talked about it before. Recently settled on a house where the house is on the market about 2 months. Person played the little, I'm going to start here and then just kind of ink it down. Oh, I got one. I got a video I just recorded last night. This was interesting. It was actually a flip. It's a flip. And these guys invited me out, the flippers. So I recorded the house last night. When it comes out, you guys are going to like it. But anyway, the original sellers, not the flippers, they listed the house for $925,000. They were playing the games I'm talking about. They were trying to list it for what the other houses in the neighborhood were selling for. But the other houses in the neighborhood were, refurbished. This house was original. And they're doing the things sellers do. Well, the other houses are selling for $925,000. I want $925,000. That's not how it works. That's not how it ever works. Their houses were more modernized. Your house is not. Well, their house is sold for $925,000. I want $925,000. Okay, house doesn't sell. So they lower the price, lower the price, lower the price, lower the price. So I'm not going to say what these guys ended up buying the house for the flip. Let's just say it was several $100,000 under. Like enough to go and buy another house under. So when sellers do that stuff, you can take advantage of them. You can slap them around. it's not even taking advantage. You can just slap them around and have your way. Just let it happen a few months, and because most of them are going to give up, especially if they have some place to be. You can slap them around. That's how investors really make money. I know a guy, he just came back to the company. He keeps coming to the company, going back, and he only works with investors. He just came back to the company, I think, last week. And he'll like reach out to folks, and it's like, I'm never going to sell at that price. And it's like, okay, you reach out to him again. I'm never going to sell at that price. Okay. No, he puts out all these offers. I'm never going to sell it. And then they sell at that price when they get desperate. So, yeah, people get desperate. You got to, if you're a seller, stop doing that stuff. If you want the most money, if you're a buyer, go look at those people doing dumb stuff. Talk to your agent and go like, oh, they're doing dumb stuff. Go take advantage of them. I'm telling you right now, go take advantage of sellers who are doing dumb stuff. Again, I've gone over an hour now. I'm going to go ahead, call it King's X, and I don't know what I'm doing. I will see you guys later. If you need anything, at some point, somebody should put some information down below. Go to another video, call, text, email. I would love to meet you in person if you need anything. Always here for you. I will probably not be here next week because I'm doing this whole big AI class. The only reason I was able to make it tonight because the guy was sick, and I got 2 more weeks of the AI class that meets at this time. I've been debating changing this around just to try to be with you guys because stuff is changing quick in the real estate game right now. But I really want to get in this to because I want to be like the super AI guy, not just for this, but it's the future. And I found that people, not people, but they are people. Agents, for some reason, like to gravitate towards me because a lot of agents are not real techie. They're on these party people and they're high eyes. You look at the personality scale. I'm just a big nerd, and there aren't many nerd realtors. There are a few, but not many. And I will literally be like not in a tech mastermind, but just a realtor mastermind. I literally will have realtors like from another part of the country. Just they'll find me and reach out. It's like, what program do you have? I'm like, I don't have a program, bro. What are you selling? I'm not selling anything. And it's like, I'll just be in a room just talking, and they're like, I just have to be in whatever you're selling. I'm like, I'm not selling anything. I was just talking, telling you what's going on in the world. You must be selling something. I'm not selling anything, man. Anyway, I don't have any plans on creating. You know what? Y'all here for real estate. I'm here for real estate. I'm here to, like I said, my wife doesn't care about me anymore. Once you get over being married 30 years, for those of you who've been married long enough, your wife stops caring about you for some of us. So I do this and AI and lasers and 3D printing and all of this crazy stuff to keep me busy and sane after many years of military service. So I'm out of here before I just keep talking myself to death. And you guys, see you later. Reach out, tell me. And as far as big, beautiful bill, I don't care from either side. I just want to report the news. Leave it at that. Okay. See you guys.